right, boys, so today we're gonna be doing a special video as we're gonna be using DIANE versus the RATATOSKR. Now usually for me, in terms of making up videos for these newer characters, I usually do a character versus all video, but since it's just an LR release and not like no crazy festival release, I thought it'd be just good enough if I just go for individual releases of this character in terms of demonic beast. Just because, again, for most of you guys, when I'm doing those type of videos, I kind of just speed run the video and stuff like that, so you really don't get a chance to fully grasp what I'm trying to accomplish in those videos. So it makes it very hard for you to understand how to defeat those demonic beasts. So with this new DIANE release, I'm gonna try to do individual demonic beast videos for characters like DIANE, who isn't like a big release, but it's still a pretty important character, right? So this is going to be the gear we're going to be using, featuring attack, crit resist. Now we're going to be using crit resist rolls, which is you want to re-roll on the middle pieces, and it's just your gear will be a lot more efficient, because obviously in the middle spot, this is the only way you're going to be able to roll crit resist rolls. So you want to make sure you make the crit resist pieces in the middle spots. And we're also going to be using this type of team, of course, using Valenti, the RATATOSKR unit, Gloxinia, and then we also have DIANE. Again, we have like I said DIANE, Liz. Again, we have 3 LR characters right now. Again, this is just a very tanky team, especially because Glock's giving you defensive stats, and DIANE is very good for dealing damage, which is surprising enough. She's able to deal damage a lot more stronger now, and then her ult also can heal and deal massive amounts of damage, especially if you have her stance up. So that's gonna be really interesting to see. And of course, we're gonna be using this artifact card set, which is the deer one. Unfortunately for me, I don't have the RATATOSKR one because I don't have the Nidhogg card. Like, I haven't really tried to farm for that Nidhogg card because, again, the RATATOSKR isn't really needed. Again, this one is really good regardless. So I like to use that instead. And this is going to be my gear. Everybody has crit resist gear. As you can see, Valenti, Glocks, and Liz have HP crit resist though, because those are the characters you want to pretty much support the DIANE. And again, they all have the same thing with crit resist rolls on the middle spots. Again, you want to try to go for 20% and above for those crit resist rolls for each one, to equal up to at least like 40 plus crit resist, just so you want to guarantee that the RATATOSKR doesn't crit you that much. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe again. And again, we also got Red Tarmiel link on DIANE as well, because again, she has a taunt, so she obviously going to take more damage. All right, here we are, man, on the RATATOSKR. Man, it's been a while since I ever like tried to play the full RATATOSKR with a unit, just because, let's be honest, man, not everybody cares too much about these units like that in terms of the RATATOSKR, because they don't release relics. They don't release relics at all, so you really don't care about all of the floors like that. But I'm still going to showcase this DIANE versus all the floors, just because I feel like it'd be a little bit special, right? So most of the things you got to do is try to keep the scroll moving. Depending on whatever debuff you use will determine where he'll go in position. So you saw a bleed right there, he went to the right. Shock makes him go to the left log, and poison makes him go to the middle log. So obviously you just want to keep doing that until you can kill them off. And as you going to the other floors, it will be more so you getting rid of the logs, which could be a little bit annoying. And you can see he's losing max HP every time he's going around, and he's actually taking a lot of damage from DIANE. See, this is what I'm saying, like DPS DIANE actually pretty fire. All right, so now this is the one where if you like deal damage to the logs, he gets like these blue buffs, and for each blue buff, if he gets like I think like 5, he gets a crazy attack buff. It's either attack buff or a base stat buff. So you want to be careful on him not getting 5. Now again, these are blue buffs, so if you use a Liz card, you can remove it. So you want to try to like target the scroll as much as possible right there, just so he doesn't keep stacking those blue buffs. The only thing you want to try to avoid is AoEing, because then that will be very bad, because then that's when he stacks it a lot faster. The only way you want to try to use your AoE if you know you're going to kill. So I recommend not to use your AoE. And then you also want to make sure you have at least a debuff card for the next phase, because this is where you're gonna have that damage cap shenanigans in which you have to pretty much get rid of, make a move through all of the logs to then get rid of that damage reduction. So you can see we're going from left and right, and depending on whichever log you're going to, that will pretty much dictate if you can use a certain type of skill, like an AoE skill or a what you can call it, like a physical skill. It's kind of like physical and long range. So usually on this one, you want to have Valenti to ult right there, so he'd be forced into the middle. And then once he's back into the middle, you want to use Glocks to put him on the right side, and then boom, he's gonna lose his damage reduction. So it's usually go shock, poison, ult, then bleed, and then you're able to still now do damage. Now he's lost his damage reduction buff, and now you can finally actually kill off the squirrel. And that's why you want characters that kind of reflective of having range or long attacks, so you can be able to target the squirrel. That's why you can't use that's why you can't use that many type of different characters. Like, that's why Jelly King kind of fell off a little bit, just because the restriction of his attack cards. So that's why most players, they use Valenti, or they even use Scotty, the blue Ragnarok Scotty. And now with that, he's pretty much done for, and we're just gonna ult and just finish him off. Oh wait, I forgot, he didn't move, so he's gonna lock my ultimate right here. Yeah, he didn't move, so he was able to lock my ultimate. That's also what you gotta be careful about. Like, if you don't make a move, he will lock your cards again, and then you have to keep moving him again. Now, he doesn't keep that damage reduction though, but you will have to move him again if you want to attack with a non-debuff card. All right, so this time we on the second floor. Now, the second floor is not that hard. Obviously, it's a little bit complicated because you have to kind of worry about your character's tanking. Like, this is where you really test if your team is able to tank all these hits, because you have to deal with this first phase where you can't use any cleanse card, because if you cleanse those red debuffs, you get a gray food poison, which then makes it, you pretty much dead after that. So you want to try your best to avoid getting food poison, while also trying to get rid of the logs and the squirrel at the same time, which could make it a little bit difficult. That's why I said before, pretty much no one really cares about doing all of the different floors for RATATOSKR, just because it's a lot of gimmicks you have to remember and deal with. So most players kind of try to avoid playing the RATATOSKR, especially because, again, there's no relics, right? Like, if there was relics, you can make a case to try to play the RATATOSKR, but since there ain't no relics, no one really try to go that far, especially for a versus all demonic beast video. And if people are wondering like why my gameplay is so fast, it's because I ×2 speed it whenever I edit it, right? The reason why I ×2 speed it is because when you're playing the RATATOSKR, it takes a very long time going through the floors, especially remembering all the gimmicks, especially because you want to use especially because I'm using a fun character like DIANE. If I was using something like DK Meliodas, this could be a lot faster, I'm not gonna lie. But since I'm using a fun character like DIANE, we might as well troll around. And it's because when using like fun characters, it's very hard to figure out their damage, how much can they tank and stuff like that. So sometimes you end up doing too much damage to a log, or doing less damage to a log, and then you have to keep resetting. Now this is one where he hides. You want to try to pick the one where you think he's gonna be at, because if you pick the right one, you will get a, I think, a 20% all stat buff. But if you pick wrong, you get a lower debuff, which you can always just cleanse. You just want to make sure you get rid of the logs. Usually it's the left and the right logs you're trying to get rid of for the second floor. So that's why you see I'm trying to make them go into the middle. Usually the shock usually puts them to the left side. But since there's no left log, he instantly goes to the middle. So right here, we're just trying to debate on what card I should use. Because obviously I have my DN stance, so we should be able to deal a lot of damage to that log. And with this, we was able to nuke. And the cool thing about this DN team, I haven't really mentioned, is that her gray buff that she does when she's doing her stance is a gray attack buff, which means you can stack it on top of Liz blue buff, which is actually insane when you think about it. So if you're using DIANE and Liz ults, you're getting double the amount of attack related stats, which is actually crazy. So we're just trying to get rid of him. Obviously this didn't kill. I'm just trying to get rid of cards just for the next phase. Obviously I'm trying to prep more so for my DIANE, because DIANE is obviously my best DPS character right now. Again, it's just so fun using these nonchalant teams. Yeah, I just kind of used that card because I was like, the way my hand's set up, like everybody ain't gonna really use that much cards right now. So you want to keep them in the middle, if anything. I think it's the middle that you want to keep them in. So that's why I'm not really trying to debuff them like that. So that's why I went for a poison ult, because the poison will make them go into the middle or stay in the middle. Shock is usually left, bleed is usually right for when you're doing first and second floor. So with this, we was able to ult and we were able to get rid of the logs. Now this is the one where he revives at the end. Like if you hit a certain HP threshold on this one, that's where he's able to revive. So let's see what he's gonna do. All right, so we cleanse. We can probably like refresh my ultimate. You can see we still doing a huge amount of damage with DIANE, especially because we got Liz, Valenti, and DIANE own passive giving her so much damage. And then we go for this. Again, he gonna revive. But since he is back to at full HP, he's gonna do hide, which gives us a free turn to do whatever we want to. Like we can set up our ultimates, my other characters, or you know, just build up our attack related. Which means he comes in, because we guessed right, we get a buff as well. And we're gonna use Liz to ult, and then the next turn he should be gone. Now I was about to click Glock's ult. I was supposed to click Glock's ult, but I kind of misplayed because I clicked too fast. And I said forget it. I didn't feel like resetting. It's alright because Liz could just full heal my team regardless, but I was supposed to click Glock's card right there, but I said forget it because I didn't feel like resetting again, especially because I already won. And now we're gonna go to the third floor. Oh my god. Now the third floor is the most complicated one, and honestly, unless you have a really built out box, most players will just recommend not to even try this out, just because again, it's a lot of gimmicks you got to go through. So the whole gimmick is you want to debuff him with 3 debuffs, and that will force him to the right, and then you want to make sure he stays on the right no matter what, while also getting rid of the left and the right, left and middle log. Because once you get rid of the left and middle log, he will finally lose his immortality. Now the cool thing about DIANE is that she will take away ult gauge, which is really good for us. Well, whenever you do get it, it's really good. Obviously right there I didn't get another one, so now we have to try to just attack right here. I should have probably went for, like, I don't know, my DIANE ultimates, just so we can deal as much damage to the left logs, but it's fine. Again, as long as he stayed to the middle, we are in a really good position. I said middle, the right, because then he keeps getting those all stat lowers. And the reason why I'm not using my debuff cards is because if some way somehow he does bypass it, I want to at least keep my 3 debuff cards so I can send them right back to the right side, because you have to use all 3 of your debuffs to do so. And he's gonna ult right here, of course. And obviously we literally got petrified, so we can only just move our cards. But since he got all those all stat lures, it technically doesn't matter that he did that. He's still not gonna deal that much damage. So it was really good that on this one, he had the all stat lures so much that even if he petrified us for 1 turn, it wasn't gonna hurt the run. So you can see as right here, having DIANE be like my character to soak up damage is really nice. But like more I'm just thinking about it, I keep thinking about like maybe I should have kept saving my stances, because you're gonna realize like it's very hard to get DIANE's stance cards. For some reason, getting DIANE's stance card is just it's really hard. Now this is one where you have to push him to the left side. Usually you can go for a different combination of debuffs and I'll force it to the left, or you can ult and he'll go into a random spot and possibly go into the left side, like what you've seen right there. Again, it's all depending. Usually I'm pretty sure when you ult is random. So I'm not too sure. Like again, most players don't really focus too much on these type of floors. Like you see, he went to a random one again, and I had to do a lot of resetting just so I can figure out where he would go in terms of position. Like I ulted again just to see if he'll move to a random log, and you see he moved right back into that random log. You see what I'm saying? Like if you ult, he goes into a random log, which then leave me able to nuke with DIANE. Again, I got really lucky that he went into the log that I actually want him to go into. So now he's gonna start prepping up for his stance card. He does stun, but with my team we have cleanse characters like Valenti, so that stun pretty much did absolutely nothing, because I can still use DIANE cards, which I end up just doing right here by using my stance. And I got rid of his blue buff just so he can get debuffed as well, alongside of me just attacking him. Because you know, once he has that stance up, he gives a food poison to himself to pretty much finish him off easy. And as more as you stalling, the easiest food poisoning stacking it gets, which means he's gonna die a lot faster without you even doing anything. Which I kind of like DIANE, because she ult controls, which means you're able to stall a lot easier. And then she also has a stance, so you're able to kind of tank some of those hits. And I just move my card, and we deal a lot of damage right there, and we cleanse, kind of get my Liz ultimate back. And I was baiting if I should ult with Liz, but he was already almost dead, so this is where I just pretty much just gave up my Glock's ultimate and Glock's card, just because I know I'm not gonna really need them. The most I'm gonna need is probably my DIANE attack card, and that's so I can ult control. And luckily enough, he did not get the ult depletion one passive, so now I'm able to pretty much start attacking like freely. And again, what you want to do on this one, you want to make sure he goes to the right side or stays in the middle, because if he goes in the middle and you keep him in the middle, he gives himself like a HP lower to himself, which could be very helpful for players who struggle on dealing high amounts of damage. But if he stays to the left, now that is the worst thing you can happen, because now he's able to pretty much give himself a buff, and he'll give himself a stance. So you want to try your best to keep him off that left side as much as possible, which I did do. Usually you ult, I believe he goes into a random spot when you ult, but if you like start debuffing him and stuff like that, he does he does move out that log. So this is where I'm trying to like bait if I should ult right here or keep my ult control cards. But obviously I can ult control, Again, I'm just worried about him going back to the left side. Like you see, he did go back to the left side. Again, the main thing I'm trying to avoid is him going to the left side. So right here, I'm probably just going to take the ult, which is going to be the full petrification on my characters, which is a fine because this is the early stage of this floor, or not floor, this phase. So he's not going to deal that much damage or kill me off. So I can at least tank this hit. Yep, just because he attacked. Oh, I forgot, I ult controlled. So he couldn't even do much anyways right there. So we healed. Go for Valenti ultimate. And now he's able to ult. And he goes to the right side, which is the side you actually want because that's where he starts losing his immortality stacks. And like I said before, this is the early stage. So you are able to pretty much tank the first hit. But as you keep progressing throughout the stage, you will get the food poisoning on you when he's on the right side. And that could mess up your run because, again, you're losing HP more and more as the match progresses. All right, and we're gonna take away his ults again, and then we're gonna probably just go for a cleanse with Liz. That's why I said I like DIANE right here because literally you can just keep ult controlling the boss. And sometimes you get unlucky and just not get any ult control cards, or for myself, I kept not getting no stances really, and when I did get a stance, it was like short-lived. Like, it was like moments where I thought to myself, like, bro, if I had a stance, this would be a lot better. And with that, we was able to get rid of the middle log. So now he's going to start, as you can see, lose his immortality stacks. And this is where you want to try to keep getting your Liz ultimates. Yeah, this is the one where Liz ult is going to be very important. Like, if you don't get your Liz ultimate, it could ruin the run. Obviously, if you probably get like a DIANE stance, it could save you a little bit, but that's only if you get the stance. But since we don't get the stance, we are going to be more reliant on pulling Liz ultimates back to back to back, while also ult controlling. And again, this was a little bit difficult for me because obviously DIANE ultimate is based on her stance, and you get a lot more attack when you got that stance up as well too. So me not getting that stance made it a lot harder for me to kill off the RATATOSKR. So I was like literally trying my best to figure out ways to kill off the RATATOSKR. As you can see, my damage wasn't that great because I didn't have that stance up. Because you gotta remember, the stance also increases your damage dealt as well and give you another attack buff on top of Liz. So my attack was actually super weak when I ulted, which is a very unfortunate thing. So like me resetting, I had to reset a lot for the RATATOSKR, guys. That's why I said before, like when it comes to the RATATOSKR, is it really worth dealing with all of these headaches, what I'm doing right now? Not really. But if you are a person who wants to try to use these characters for just for the fun of it, then go for it. Go for it, man. And I think I just went for a Valenti attack card right here. I think I just went for my shock card. I was debating if I should ult right here, because I was still like literally hoping that I could pull a stance card and still deal like high amounts of damage. The ult control is literally the only thing that's like saving me. So like I'm literally just like happy that I keep getting my ult control card, but I'm literally just also scared because I'm like, bro, if he ults me, I'm dead. But as you can see, I'm living a little bit. And we have like finally got the magical stance card, which is actually really good for me. Cause now I can just nuke with DIANE now, because now my damage is increased. So I was actually debating if I should use this card like this, but I said to myself, yo, we might as well finish it off and just push for my DIANE's ultimate, because we're already gonna be at full HP. My damage is increased, and we got 2 of our attack buffs stacked up on top of each other. So this is GG. So this is me playing on the RATATOSKR with the LR DIANE. Again, super complicated as well, but pretty fun character to use. Is she a must summon for this? I said must summon. Is she must use for this? No, but a fun character nonetheless.